Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Otaku Phoenix here, and I'm here to accurately and unbiasedly debate Natsu Drag New versus Gensura Yamamoto. Alright, everybody, let's get on with it. Alright, so I'm here to prove that my boy Natsu Drag New absolutely bodies and destroys Gensura Yamamoto. Okay, first of all, in the battle of Aizen, Ichigo and Yamamoto in Karakura Town, Yamamoto unleashes all the power of his Shikai in Enketu Jigo. And pay attention to what he says. He literally says, "You will die with me in this blazing inferno," confirming the full power of his Shikai. Jinjaka will indeed kill him. And after fighting Gremi and he absorbed all the power and released it at once, he created this explosion. Yamamoto was able to contain it before he destroyed the entire city of Karakura Town. And please look at how badly burnt Yamamoto is. Even Aizen says you were blown away the barrier, which is around Karakura Town, meaning that explosion at best would have been large city level. Now for Fairytail, this thing right here is the Dragon Cry. It contains the power of all the dragons Ethnologia has ever killed in the Dragon King Festival, and it was literally stated to have enough power to destroy the entire continent of Ishiga. And if you want to know, Ishiga is 13 million square miles. That is almost the size of the entire continent of America. Sorry, both Americas actually. Now, Animus, this dragon right here, absorbs the power of said Dragon Cry and uses it to attack the entire continent, as we can see here. And what does my boy Natsu do? Natsu, right after being turned into a fucking shish kebab, he then decides to turn into a half dragon and absolutely wreck the guy's shit. I'm not even kidding. Look at this ass whooping. So Animus, knowing he was about to get his shit rocked, puts all the power of the Dragon Cry back into his body. And what does Natsu do? He not only overpowers Animus, he drills into his fucking skull. Next, Yamamoto versus Alon. Alon is multi-stories tall and has the power to destroy several buildings in a single swing of his hand. And Yamamoto was able to defeat him quite easily. With just a single attack of Yamamoto's Shikai Ryugen Jaka, he was able to burn Alon completely. I'm not gonna lie, that's very impressive. Yeah, now let's go for Natsu. Natsu, for the god of war, Ikutunagi, literally taller than mountains and had the ability to tear the ground till it reached the freaking sea. I'm not joking, look at this. And do you know what Natsu then proceeds to do? He then proceeds to one-shot this guy that is bigger than mountains and has its power to tear the ground asunder in a single attack with just one Fire Dragon King fist. Next, Yamamoto versus Gremi. Yamamoto was able to send him flying with a single punch at an incredibly large distance and collapse a building. Very impressive. Very impressive, not gonna lie. Yama punched Gremi down and made this giant hole, and he was able to tank several of Gremi's punches, which is very impressive because Gremi was even able to create a mini sonic boom with the force of his punch. Very impressive. And Yama not only tanked it, he destroyed the enemy with his Sokoto technique, with a single attack. Once again, very, very impressive. Now let's go over my boy Natsu. Natsu while fighting Jelal. Okay, for context, these rock crystals right here are literally crystallized magic, so they are harder than rock. And Natsu in a single bound was able to slam Jelal through 8 floors of this shit. Count it if you don't believe me. And then he jumped from the bottom of those 8 floors to the top in a single step and broke him through an extra 9 floors for the fun of it. And then in episode 23, he literally blew Gaju's Iron Dragon Roar with his bare hands. Not to mention when he fought this dude right here from the Ajiu division, he was literally able to punch him to cloud the level in his base form. I'm not kidding. See the ship right there. See the clouds right there. He literally punched him to cloud form. Okay, these monsters are attacking the city for context. And you know what Natsu does because he's such a badass? He proceeds to just blow them away with physical strength. Now, I'm not saying these monsters are nearly as strong as Grammy, but you cannot deny this is fucking impressive physical strength. And don't even get me started on Natsu fighting the Water God Dragon, a dragon said to be around on par with Acnologia, and doing this to him with sheer physical strength. Natsu has that in the bag. Now let's go to Yamamoto doing the Ito Castle against Aizen. Very destructive feat from a Hado master. Okay, now let's go Natsu. You see, Natsu ate those mushrooms over there and then became high. I'm telling you, high out of his mind. So high he mistook 4 people for 40 people. That's how high he was. While high and in his base form, he then proceeds to blow away the entire mountain range till it could be seen from a port at sea. And also, since Yamamoto is a Kido master, he can most likely do the Hado Knight 6 Black Coffin. However, Natsu brought Blue Note, who can literally make black holes with his magic. Literally, here's the description of it if you don't believe it is an actual black hole. And you know what Natsu does? He then proceeds to absolutely one-shot Blue Note and set black hole in his base form with a single roar. And don't even get me started on when Natsu in season 6 in his Lightning Flame Dragon mode, which is currently his 4th strongest transformation, was able to split the island of Tenojima in 2 in a single roar. Don't believe me? Here it is. Okay, next, Yamamoto has a Hitotsumi Nadegiri, a high fast precision cut. This is what he used against Alon to slice him in 2. Okay, yeah, now Natsu's. This dude right here is Susaku, the Sword-Saint Dragon Slayer. He is in the same class of Dragon Slayers as this dude Haku, who is confirmed to be in the speed of light. Don't believe me? Here's the panel where he literally says he moves at the speed of light. They are both speed types, and here we have Natsu blocking his attack. Susaku is relative to the speed of light, and Natsu blocked his attack. And if you think it was a fluke, nope, he does it again. Natsu is capable of blocking light speed attacks in base form. And for all of you saying Yamamoto uses his Ryatsu not fire, well, his Shikai has been confirmed to use fire. It is his Bankai Zanka no Tachi that doesn't. But for you still saying he can't eat his fire because he's a Shinigami, Loki is a celestial spirit, a spirit that dwells in another dimension, which is literally the same shit as Shinigami. And here we have Natsu eating his fire and making it his own and owning this bitch. Now Zanka no Tachi. It is said that it burns to ash anything it cuts. Its heat reaches 15 million degrees and everything it slices is burnt out of existence. Very impressive. Okay, now here's Natsu doing activating his Fire Dragon King mode. Yeah, look at all the damage and destruction this shit causes. Yeah, you see Zeref over there? Like the boss Zeref is, he manages to tank this shit in his base form. And once again, like the boss he is, he smiles afterwards. Like, look at this. This man is, what the fuck? Okay, Zeref in his upgraded Fairy Heart form literally fought Fire Dragon King Natsu. Sorry, Fire Dragon Force Natsu. And Natsu literally generated enough power to blow an upgraded Zeref to the point that there was literally not even a speck of dust left at him. See what's base Zeref tank. How much power do you think it takes to destroy an upgraded Zeref? And keep in mind, Natsu not only has the Dragon Seed which causes his transformation, but the Demon Seed which lets him transform into END. And for context, let me show you how strong END is. And Natsu's 2 seeds were fusing. However, this process was going to kill him and then he destroyed them. But in the 100-year quest, he managed to fuse his demon form and his dragon force together and use it to absolutely decimate the water god dragon Mechphobia that I mentioned earlier in the video. Not to mention, this form makes Natsu rage thirsty and bloodlust. So anyway, Natsu's dragon force alone competes with Bankai. Imagine demon dragon force. And Yamamoto Zanka no Tachi can resurrect everyone he's ever killed with it to fight for him. Okay, first of all, y'all need to remember, Yamamoto used this as a psychological attack against Yuach. And they did no way display the strength that they had once they were alive. They were just crawling like regular skeletons. While Natsu fought this dude Zero, who sent him to a pocket dimension filled with everyone he has ever killed. And Natsu, just by activating his dragon force, was able to burn said pocket dimension out of existence. Look at this. Did you see the souls catching fire? Did you see that shit? You see it? Do you see that? This once again confirms that Natsu's dragon force should be at least relative to Yamamoto's Bankai. So once again, imagine what his dragon force. And not to mention, if we're still saying numbers, please remember at the time Natsu took an army of 1 million soldiers on his own. Though the fight was cut short due to Zeref's appearance, guess how many he managed to take out in the few minutes he was there in base form? 973. Man, so when I tell you, yeah, sure, his skeletons as well being Natsu. And now the panel all Bleach fans will use from Yamamoto to the day he dies. That Soul Society panel. Okay, I just want to show you this scene of Natsu passively evaporating a sea just by activating his Fire Dragon Force. And if you don't believe me, here's the size of it. Now, the official description of Soul Society, as we can see here, wait, let me zoom in. It is made of this Rukongai and the Fairytail. Y'all mix up the afterlife and Soul Society. They are not the same. Soul Society is a society in the afterlife. This is why after Fairytail was destroyed in the 1,000-year Blood War, Aizen welcomes Yuach to his Soul Society. And please remember, Ishgard once again is 13 million square miles, which is almost the same size as both North and South America combined. And Fairytail has a diameter of 1,571 kilometers, and the Rukongai has about 8 to 16 kilometers. Yamamoto's Bankai is 15 million degrees. Very impressive. That's the temperature of the core of the sun. Now let me ask you this, Bleach fans. Does the sun have enough power to destroy the universe? This is common sense. Solar system? Sure, if the sun explodes, the solar system is gone, donezo. But how the hell would the sun have enough power to destroy a universe? How is this making sense to you? However, this statement of the Rukonga and the Fairytail can be disproven thanks to Born the Witch. And once again, thanks to Born the Witch, we know there's actually a western branch of Soul Society. So there's a chance Unohana was referring to Soul Society in a whole city, that's the east-west. So there may be more branches of Soul Society. This would make Soul Society more of a planetary scale. However, it's later stated by the Can't Fear Your Own World novels that the Soul King separated the existing universe into Soul Society, Huecomondo, and the human world. So yeah, they are not all each a universe. They all make up one universe. They are not each a universe. They were all one universe that was split down. Look at this. It was literally said. And if you want to mention hell, yeah, hell was originally part of the living world. The Soul King just kind of made it into a separate space, but they were all originally one. Meaning this map right here is the closest we're going to get. See, Gargantua is the universe. These 3 lines represent the 3 spaces occupied by each world. So Soul Society, if we're talking about a spatial place, is 1/3 of the universe at best. That would make Yamamoto at most 1/3 of a universe. And please remember, Zanka no Tachi has a time limit because Yamamoto's own body can't withstand it. Now for Natsu, please remember Zeref's greatest spell was the Neo Eclipse, a time reset that was going to erase the entire Fairytail timeline, aka universe, out of existence. This required the Fairy Art, Infinite Magic, and the space between time of time waves. This is it right here. And if you don't believe this is actual time, it's literally defined as a conceptual power source. Still don't believe me? Okay, this woman right here, her name is Anatfilia. She's the only other person who knows as much about it as Zeref. Here she literally states it is a concept, not a power source. And it was literally made by the very concept of time and space trying to repair itself after being damaged by the eclipse gates. And here we have Zeref controlling said time rifts and activating it. Now please pay attention to the white light that comes when Zeref activates the time rift and fuses it there. He needs the infinite magic power in order to properly manipulate the time rift. In Natsu and Zeref's final clash, can you see the white light that appears right here? That is literally the time rift responding to say clash, meaning Zeref is still linked with the time rift and is using it in that attack. So when Zeref said Natsu is burning time itself, he literally meant he is burning time itself. And if you think this was an ass pull from Natsu, it has been confirmed since chapter 7 that Natsu's emotions increase his power. So in conclusion, do not underestimate my boy Natsu Dragnew. You just don't know how to skill right. Anyway, like and subscribe and I'll see you all next time. Peace.